A YouTuber called King of Lightning, who is an anime YouTuber who primarily makes One Piece content, recently uploaded a video on Black Clover claiming that the series is officially dying. Now, he did not make this video maliciously, and that has to be acknowledged. He's been reading and reacting to the Black Clover manga for a while now and is generally a fan, though I do disagree with some of his takes. He thinks that the Sea Temple arc, the Veto arc, is the best arc in Black Clover thus far. Insane take, but to each their own, right? So definitely no judgment there. But while he did not make this video maliciously, and definitely I do agree with some of the criticisms he throws the way of the story, this honestly is simply the worst time to have made this video. And why do you think I'm saying that? Well, the reason is super simple. Black Clover is most definitely not dying. In fact, recent information that has come to light completely surprised most people, including myself. And this information indicates that not only is Black Clover not dying, it is in fact thriving despite our assumptions based on what we're seeing in our social media feeds. Make sure you like and subscribe if you want more content like this, and if you're more interested in Black Clover or Kagurabachi, I will definitely be making videos on those topics, so make sure you're looking out for all of that. So, King of Lightning gives us 3 major reasons why the series is supposedly dying. And let me tell you right now, I disagree with none of the points that he brings up. But when I break down those reasons and explain to you why 2 of those 3 reasons are personal opinions on the quality of the story, and why the other is a wrong conclusion to have arrived at, even if I don't disagree with the point as such, I think you'll finally understand why I'm telling you that Black Clover is indeed not dying, despite the issues that KOL and frankly I myself have with the manga. Also, after that, I'll briefly touch on the latest chapters that were released and all the other information that we recently gotten about Tabata, so do stick around for all of that. Also, I do enjoy the reactions to the manga. I do enjoy the One Piece content from Cole, and this is in no way a video meant to incite dislike for Cole. It's simply a disagreement over the points that he's made in his video. Alright, so with that out of the way, let me address the 2 clear opinions first, right? These are absolutely not facts. These are pure opinions from Cole that I feel like he kind of presents as facts as a key pillar reason as to why the manga is completely failing and dying, right? So I definitely don't think those are absolute truths. It's just opinions from him. And honestly, not even opinions that I disagree with a lot, right? He thinks that the Land of the Sun arc, which is the transition to the final arc, is downright bad, and he thinks that it could arguably be the worst arc in the series, and he also feels like the final arc is structurally bad and is too rushed and is paced badly and yada yada yada, is just all over the place. All that stuff, right? So he's gotten a lot of issues with the story post Spade arc, and I'm sure that he didn't love the Spade arc by itself either, even if he did enjoy it a lot, right? So do I disagree with those individual statements on his opinions on these 2 arcs? Not completely, not really, no. I personally do think that the Land of the Sun arc leaves a lot to be desired, right? And I also have a video script written for that arc, by the way, where I completely analyze the heck out of that arc and the way it's written and the faults it has, and of course the amazing plus sides that it has that absolutely nobody actually discusses at all, right? From the fantastic art to the way that Asta's character has been written to a couple of these amazing characters that we do get in the arc. None of that gets discussed, and I definitely do talk about that in the video, and that video is going to be coming out soon, so please be on the lookout for that. And regarding the final arc, yeah, I can't lie, it definitely feels messy and it leaves a lot of events unexplored and off screen and everything. And this arc honestly has some of the worst villains in the entire series. I mean, come on, honestly, Paladin Aesir, Paladin Morris. I mean, I know Tabata tried to do something with Morris, but God, come on, man, even the dialogues were bad. Like, barring Lucius, who is arguably the best villain in the entire series, Tabata really has put a lot of secret sauce into that character. The other Paladins and the Archangels, just no, man, this completely no. I definitely do agree with Cole that I've had issues with the final arc, right? But the real question is, are these, opinions the objective key reasons to state that the series itself is dying? Absolutely not. These are simply personal opinions on the arcs, and we might like or dislike certain arcs, but either way, our opinions have no bearing on deciding whether the series is dying or not, right? The other non-opinion that Cole states is that the shift to Jump Giga is destroying the conversations around the series online, and so the momentum for the series that it would have gotten weekly is gone. I agree, right? Like, he says people only discuss it when the chapters drop and then it disappears, right? I do agree, right? And also, before I go on, I have to tell you something about the Jump Giga schedule, by the way, right? Here's a little tidbit from the latest volume. So apparently, even on the Giga schedule, Tabata was forced into a hotel room by the Jump staff for about 4 days, right? 4 days he was forced into a hotel room to finish up his manuscript after a trip to Barcelona. You heard me right? Shonen Jump, right? Shueisha forced him to stay to finish off these chapters before he even was allowed to go back to his wife and child. They got this man arrested like he's a prisoner for multiple days. If this is how bad he has it on a Giga schedule, I cannot imagine how badly the weekly authors have it back in Weekly Shonen Jump, and how those with illnesses and like families with illnesses like Tabata can cope at all. It truly is hell. Beyond all the reasons we might have his disliking for moving to Giga, my god, man, like, it's clearly the best move for the man. And I feel like it's still not the best environment for a manga artist, right? Like, maybe he should just do like what Ishida does, where he just drops the chapter whenever he wants to, but does it online, you know, on Jump Plus or whatever, you know, wherever that drops. Honestly, I think that's the way that Tabata should go, because clearly any kind of deadline like this and the company just comes in to like destroy your life, right? But again, for the story, objectively, going back to what Cole said, is there truth to Cole's opinion on the dwindling discussion regularity, right? Like, yeah, I definitely do think so. Sure, like, look at my own channel. My own videos only drop when the chapters drop, and since I've been away from the channel so long, sometimes I might even skip those videos now and then. But this is the biggest sticking point. While that reason might not be wrong, and even if you want to say the other reasons are objectively correct, the conclusion to draw from all of that, right, from the point that Cole's social media feed does not have Black Clover on it at all, being the conclusion that Black Clover is dying, that's just absolutely objectively mistaken, right? He's completely mistaken on that front. And, you know, I will give you proof, but, you know, maybe a couple months ago, I would have been in the comments of a video like this fighting and claiming that he was right. But honestly, with recent events, I've been surprised and frankly blown away at how popular Black Clover is and has become recently. Okay, so first off, let me give you a basic and undeterrable reason for why Black Clover is not dying and is in fact thriving. Recently, the official Black Clover Japanese manga account announced that as of the day before the release of the latest Black Clover volume, as of the date of this video, that is volume 37, Black Clover has 24 million copies in circulation. Now, immediately, I know that some people are going to run to JJK or MHA to make a comparison, but you don't compare Dr. Stone to Kimetsu no Yaiba, and you should definitely not compare BC with anything else, because the simple truth is BC is not popular, right? Is not as popular as JJK or MHA, or obviously as Kimetsu no Yaiba. That's just the cold hard truth, and there's nothing anyone can say that is contrary to that. This video is not arguing that BC is as popular as MHA or JJK, so even if 24 million objectively, individually is a low number for you, and cool, that's low, that's not what this video is about. But there is a reason why this 24 million is not only good, but it is incredibly impressive number for Black Clover, especially now. You see, the last time we got an update on this number of circulation, it was in 2023, right before the release of volume 35. That's right. Since that announcement, only volume 36 has come out, and volume 37 releases on the 4th of September. Now, in 2023, it was announced that the series had 19 million copies in circulation. So in 2 years, with only a single new volume out since the last announcement, Black Clover has done 5 million new copies in circulation. If you don't understand how insane that is, let me break that down a little bit more. In only 2 years, on a quarterly release schedule, with only one new volume and no anime airing since 2021, Black Clover has managed to include 5 million copies in circulation in addition to what it was doing earlier. Now, that is incredibly impressive on its own to me, but let's highlight why this is an incredible number for Black Clover now specifically. See, before this announcement, between December 21, 2021 that is, and October 2022, back when Black Clover was still weekly, right? Way before all the issues that Cole and I and everybody else seems to have with the series, it only managed to increase the circulation numbers by 1 million copies from 17 million to 18 million. That is between 22 and 21, right? 2021 and 2022, it only increased by 1 million. And similarly, from October 2022 to 2023, back when the movie was released, again, the series only managed to increase the circulation by 1 million copies from 18 million to 19 million. So during weekly releases with multiple volumes, right, and even with a movie on the way, the manga was only doing 1 million copies in circulation increase per year. This was during the end of the Spade arc, by the way, when I was talking about the 2021 and 2022 numbers. And that was with multiple copies of some of the best content that we were getting in the Spade arc, right? This was post the Noel fight. This was the Yuno fight. This was the Lucifero fight. That was some of the craziest stuff that we were getting. And even then, it was only doing 1 million copy increase per year with multiple volumes. So to go from doing 1 million copies at best to 5 million in 2 years, you have to admit that not only is Black Clover not dying, it is in fact absolutely thriving. All right, that's not enough. You want more evidence. Okay, well, let's look at the movie. We're not just talking about the manga here, we were talking about the IP as a whole. Did you know that the Black Clover movie was never properly released in theaters and only got a limited release due to his Netflix exclusive deal? That's right, so it did not even stand a chance at all compared to other anime movie releases. But still, despite that, the Black Clover movie was a complete hit for Netflix. Let me give you, again, some numbers. Upon release, over 6.4 million views, and it did over 12 million hours viewed worldwide, right? And all of this, to put it into perspective, was over a single 2-day period. I'm not talking about since the movie's release to now. I'm talking about 2 days after the release of the movie. This was the numbers that it was doing. The Black Clover movie was an absolute huge hit. All that to say, while there are criticisms that can definitely be levied against the storytelling of the series, it is most definitely not dying, and that is an objective truth based on the numbers that the movie is doing, and more importantly, based on the numbers that the manga is doing. We even saw just how wide-reaching the anime announcement leak was, not even the official announcement, and how widely beloved the return has been over on social media from all corners of the internet. Also, if you know the right accounts on Twitter, you definitely hear chatter about how good the production for season 2 has been going, so it's going to be surprising to nobody if the anime comes back looking like a masterpiece and is going to gather up even more fans. The anime isn't just the last hope for the series, like King of Lightning says, it is the ultimate victory lap for the IP that has been growing back in popularity despite falling from the top many years ago. Additionally, Pierrot themselves have come out and proclaimed that their intention is to grow the Black Clover IP big enough to rival the levels of Naruto. Obviously, that's a crazy height to attempt for, but again, this is an objective, that they can set based on all the successes that they've seen for the movie and clearly for the manga too. It is pretty clear that the series is entering a renaissance period, and clearly, since the final arc is popular among those who purchase the manga because of the spike in circulation in these couple of years, we can say that despite our personal criticisms of the final arc storytelling, it is still well loved by the readers, and the manga is clearly not dying. Okay, now with that discussion out of the way, I did promise you guys some updates on Black Clover. So let's cover some actual Black Clover news after a long time, it feels like. So we finally got volume 37 releasing, and the volume reportedly collects chapters 370 through 380. Now, if you want a refresher, 370 was the second chapter to ever be published on Jump Giga, and this is the chapter that covers the content where Asta and Yuno fly up to Lucius and the Bulls jump into battle and begin their fights against the clones. This is the one right after Luck and Magna fight a Lucius clone, right? So the volume ends with chapter 380, which again, if you wanted a reminder, I don't know why you should, because it's one of the latest chapters that we got, with Asta getting slashed by Lucius and Yuno gaining anti-magic. We are literally so close to the current events of the manga, which is quite often not what happens, but due to the Giga, release schedule, this is the situation that we're at right now. But honestly, volume 37 is such an odd number, right? And honestly, given the pace of the Archangel fights that we've seen so far, we've at least got a long list of chapters left, right? Because for the Archangel chapters, we got at least a full Giga issue with each Archangel, and then a couple issues with Lucius. I can definitely see the manga taking up at least 25 or so more chapters to wind up, and I believe we'll eventually end up seeing, you know, the volume 40 for the series before the ending comes through. But you know, we got to be realistic. I don't think he'll redo the Archangel fights completely from the scratch again with just different characters now, and he's been quite comfortable letting a lot of events go past his off page, right? We saw, you know, like William fighting Lucius just off screen, and I'm sure that he's okay with doing that again for Mereoleona versus Aesir, because he's given us a lot from Mereoleona already from her battle with Morris. So I won't be surprised if he just lets it end off page without showing us her versus Aesir. So I honestly will not be surprised if the series ends in a couple Giga issues, but we know for certain that it will definitely not end for a minimum of 6 or 7 more chapters, because Tabata will have to round out volume 38, and since we already have 3 chapters out since chapter 380, 10 more chapters for a complete volume does make sense. So at least a couple more Giga chapters, or at best 3 issues, right? So Giga issues. But you know, honestly, I still do have hope that we will get at least to 400 chapters. So let's hope that there's a plot twist involving Adrimelech and Astaroth that's still coming, and we'll see a fully rounded ending for this story. Also, yes, just to touch on the latest issue, I loved everything that just happened, and I love how easily Tabata is able to make me love these characters. And since we finally got the Diamond Kingdom back, I am definitely gonna have a discussion, but it's gonna be with fan favorite Broodmeister, right? And I'm gonna definitely do a stream before the next Giga issue, so definitely keep a lookout for that. I said definitely way too many times, but thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Buzzard. It's been a long time since I made a video. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will make more content like this. Like and subscribe. All right, see you.